Alright, good morning ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So this morning I was planning to go back to HQ, but I rolled down the window when I was passing by it, and the smell there is still pretty bad. Matter of fact, the sewage smell still hasn't left. So I decided to come over here, and yeah, honestly though, when I came here I saw two more cars here, so I was really thinking about if I should just abandon it and go back. But yeah, this place here, outside still really smells, but at least this building's filtration system is a lot better than the other gym. Home base smells like really bad. Like the outside smells really bad, and the filter is not that good because from previous experiences, right? The filter can't actually filter it all out because it's a single building, not a apartment, or like not like a mall. Okay, so besides that, though, we also know that we can't really do chest day at the farms because there's only one Smith machine. So yeah, it is what it is. But also, this place is just kind of bad. I don't really like coming here, especially when it's not diamond hour. When it's not diamond hour, this place sucks. It's just a bit too weird, in my opinion. When this place isn't diamond hour, it's just really weird. Also, we were on the stairs, but we left the stairs because last night we ate. Last night I ate food off camera. It was like kumara and steak. It was only a little bit, but it's definitely messed up this morning's stomach. So we're just gonna have to walk slow. Looks like it's diamond hour now, but still, I guess on the benefit there's no shit smell. But yeah, something's up my stomach this morning. Something's up the stomach this morning, so we really can't do any cardio fast. Last night, what did I eat? I ate like a handful of kumara and like 3 fingers of steak. Also, I was a bit worried over here because this gym here, it's good in diamond hour, but it's just this gym here is really bad when it comes to anyone else. If you don't have this place solo, it's really weird because, well, right now it's diamond hour actually. No one's here now. Even though there was 2 cars parked outside. So that means that one person that parked over here is not here. So I'm assuming that other person that parked here must be in the bathroom relaxing or something. Or didn't, I don't know. Or maybe they're sleeping in a recovery room and I haven't noticed. Must that is something. I don't even know what's going on. But right now is that we really can't take our hand off the treadmill right now, just in case. Okay, I'll see if I can go faster walking now. Actually, I can't. Not yet. Something's really up with the body right now. Also, the mind is not very helping either. The mind wants to sleep, and the body is like. This is what happens when you eat food before you sleep. By the way, never eat food before you sleep because I swear it messes up your body a bit because your body thinks there's food to eat when there's not. So eating before you sleep is not a good idea. No. Five speed screws up the stomach pretty badly. I had a feeling because when I was on the stairs, less than a minute on the stairs, the stomach was literally dying. So I went to go to the treadmill, and even the treadmill, we can't even go fast. It must have been a dinner ate early. Must have been a dinner ate early. All I know is that at least this place here, when it comes to chest and diamond hour, is really good because everything's aligned. Again, I would prefer to go back to our old base. It's just that the only problem with our old base is that it still smells really bad. Like even just driving past it, it smells really bad. And over here, it also smells really bad. I guess the only difference is that here the filters are a bit better. Well, no, are the filters are a lot better because I can't smell anything. It's either I'm tired or also my stomach doesn't feel good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm literally standing in the fan, freezing. I'm very freezing to death now. This fan is not oscillating. It's blowing into my back, freezing me. You know, something's definitely wrong with the stomach. Yeah, something's wrong with the stomach. Still standing in the cold fan wind. You know, something's actually wrong with the stomach. I honestly can't tell if it's the. I can't tell if it's the stomach or the abs at this point. I really can't tell. I'm just gonna drink water and see what happens. Also, the reason I keep the mask on is because I'm probably, I don't know. It's actually the stomach. Because drinking this water is really, just drinking this water is really bad. It's really strange. Even drinking water sucks. At least the gym's quiet for ourselves. That's nice. But still, something is up with our stomach right now. Something is up with our stomach right now, and it's messing me up. So we're probably being a really silent man today. I just can't think of anything to say. And also the stomach feels really weird. So yeah. Yeah, today I give my word that I'll do a story video. I'll do a story video just to make it up for today's silence. It's dead silent now. Straight up dead silent now. No gym music or nothing, but I think drinking the water is making it feel better. I'm not exactly not sure, but I'll take the mask off for now. Yeah, I know what's going on with our body today. I am applying a efficiency today. Bench press, by the way. Yeah, I just realized that, like, without the ma without the mask, right? My face is so cold. The mask was actually quite warm. When it's not wet and it's dry, it's quite nice and warm. Especially because I feel like the gym in here is freezing. Like, no joke, the heater in here ain't working. The fan's on like maximum overdrive. Yeah, the gym is literally maxing out on like coldness. It's insane. Alright, time to drink the rest of the water. Drink the Yeah, we need to drink the rest of the water. No one's here yet. Doesn't matter. Okay, wood is complete. Matter of fact, I feel like this is a digestion problem. Definitely feels like a digestion problem. Okay, we're finished with the water. We're kind of bloated now, it's okay. Alright, let's go check out weight. No one's here yet. It's okay. Alright, let's go check out weight. 68.69.8. I guess I didn't tighten the ball head enough. My bad. Camera's fine. Yeah, we're feeling pretty scuffed today, huh? This morning. I think it definitely was from eating food before sleep. And the reason why we ate the food was literally because someone important cooked it. And I don't know. That's basically it. Someone important cooked it and they spent like hours on it. So it was only kind of out of what would you call it? Pity? You either say it's out of pity or just out of respect that they spent so long eating, they spent so long cooking. It's like I had, it's like, but next time, no. Alright, now we just do the dip machine, but I don't think we're going to be on the dip machine for very long. We're probably going to just do a, although the gym temperature here is like absolutely freezing. Maybe it's just my body. I'm not sure. Someone must have done something. But surprisingly, even though we ate the food in the before we slept, it the weight's still ranging at 90, 69. Wasn't even like a kg over. This dip machine is a lot more newer and it feels a lot more different. Look at how different this one is. I guess it's really just the same because the home base we have, the machine is a bit different. So is the back. Everything's these are like the updated versions. These are the more updated versions, but it definitely has got a. This one's got a lot more wider grip. Yeah, today's gonna be Sunday. I guess I'll give you guys a. I'm gonna have to give you guys a story video. We haven't done a story video in a couple of days, so yeah, we haven't done those in a couple of days. We've been doing Cooked Earth, Expired Earth, and Scum's Wish. I don't think there's gonna be a Scum's Wish today. We're gonna do Scum's Wish. Matter of fact, actually, hold on. Today might be Scum's Wish today. Ooh, today might be Scum's Wish today. Yep. I actually can't wait because I kind of want to know more about the story. Yesterday I had kind of a, what do you call it? Not mental. No, there's no such thing as that. I had a thought yesterday about creating more content. I think it's because yesterday, right? I was thinking about the. No, actually, what I saw yesterday was on YouTube. When I have everything uploaded, I sometimes open YouTube. I saw YouTube and I just clicked on this video called like anime intro, right? Top 5 anime intros, like the songs. And that just really made me thought a long time. I was like, huh, do you think I could create one of those things? Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like when it comes to anime, it's not actually about the story writing, it's about the actual art and It actually is just kind of the art. Like you could have a really retarded anime like story, but if the if the animations are good, people watch it. It's like the music and stuff. Yeah, the music, sound effects, voices are definitely like yeah. You can tell because when you it's like a difference when you read a book. I'm sure if you guys were younger and you read books, reading a book is completely different to watching something because when you read a book, you can't see anything, so they literally visually, you know, write down every detail. It's like the man stepped on the grassy fields and the horizon, the sun shine bright with amber, the clouds not not visible, just pure blue sky. The main character, he stepped into the field, his feet brushing against the cold, wet, damp grass. It was a bright morning. In the distance was a sheep, a dead sheep, blood spattered everywhere as his guts were butchered. Stood next to the sheep was a wolf, his teeth covered in blood, his eyes like a predator looking at his next victim as it looked at the man. Something like that. And then, in anime, they have to like show all that instead of saying anything. Like, me saying that right now, imagine if someone animated that into like a really cinematic with like scenes and intense. It's all about the production and stuff. And I guess that got me thinking about stories and stuff because in ARC, we're kind of creating our own story, except when I create stories, I don't really. Sometimes I don't like fabricating things from the very, like, from nothing to a degree. When I like to do stories, I kind of like to have a underlying, not, what was I saying? I like to have some kind of force that is not in my control. So, example, in ARC, not everything's in my control. I can only control so much. So then I face the battles or whatever happens. And then also, when it comes to like story against AI can just really say whatever they want and you adapt. But like fabricating an entire thing from scratch without really any kind of, mm, I mean, that's why people, actually, I don't even know what I'm saying. No idea what I'm saying. Do I need to change up the regime? Also, by the way, for the calories, I don't know. I keep looking at the calorie calculator that my professor said, and I'm really eating lower than what I'm supposed to. But there's not much of a, how to say this. We've been eating under 2K, right? We've been eating under 2K calories like this week. Not this week, but I think in like maybe a week or two. We've been eating under 2,000 calories, yet we have literally maintained 69 kgs for like the entire month, pretty much. Like zero dropping and zero gaining. And the calculator basically said that we need to be eating like 2,400 at least. Before we were doing 2,600 and we bulked up, right? But now we're kind of hitting a stagnant point, and yeah, I didn't really see what's going on. I appreciate it, y'all. See you guys next time, alright? Sorry about how
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I told you I gave my word about making a story today. So, not making, but reacting. We haven't done this in like 3 days or so. Right, we're going to be listening to this video here. 4 very true and night shift horror stories. Let's go.
There's a massive.
You. Sorry, Annette, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Straight up, it is what it is. Wait for that. Okay. Alright. Alright, here we go. Night shift scary stories. We're gonna either listen to around two. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's go. Might just listen to the whole thing because today we did kind of go a bit crazy. All right, story 1 by Tom. Let's have a look. Sparkling water? Yeah, I already know the
My
deal.
name is Thomas.
Oh, that's so loud. Please.
Working the late shift at our local Burger King for about 2 years now.
Burger King?
It's not glamorous, but it pays rent and the hours work for me. I'm a night owl anyway, so being behind the drive-thru window from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. doesn't bother me the way it would most people.
Yeah, that's chill.
This all started maybe a month ago. I was working the drive-thru solo. We're usually understaffed after midnight, and that's when a car pulled up to the speaker. Male voice, pretty unremarkable. He ordered a large double Whopper with cheese meal with a Coke. It was pretty standard. The one notable thing about the encounter was when he went to pay, he only rolled the window down just enough to slide his card through, and his windows were tinted so I couldn't see his face. He paid and I handed him his receipt, but then he just drove off, like without stopping at the second window to grab his food. I waited there with his bag for a few minutes, wondering if he'd be coming back. Eventually, I just set the order aside and ended up eating it later. People do weird stuff sometimes, so I didn't think about it too much. About a week later, it happened.
So if that happens the first time, it's kind of just like, you know, it is what it is, you know what I mean? I mean, you're a fast food worker, so it really doesn't concern you, does it? It's like, well, what they're gonna do?
Again. It was the same order and the same exact thing happened. Someone paid at the first window and then drove off before picking up the food. I remember thinking, that's strange. Someone did the exact same thing last week. But I wasn't quite able to connect the dots at that point. I just figured it was a coincidence. It wasn't until it happened a third time that I realized it was the same person making these orders. At that point, I knew something weird was going on, but I wasn't going to complain. The food was made, paid for, and I was the one who got to enjoy it. So I kept eating the free Whopper meals and tried not to think too hard about why some random dude was essentially buying me dinner every few days. This went on for a few more weeks. The guy would show up every 4 or 5 days, always late, usually between 1 and 3 a.m., and always with the same order. I started to almost look forward to it in a weird way. Like, oh, it's been a few days. Wonder if my mysterious benefactor is gonna show up tonight.
That is kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what you're doing in this situation. What can you do in that situation? I don't even know what you can do in that situation because you're in a drive-thru, right? If it's the same car and the same person, right? I mean, it's not like you really can do anything. I don't know what you would do. What can you do in a situation? I honestly don't know. Hold on. He said it was Tom. So that means you must be a dude. So who cares, right? But if this was like if this was a female staff, then that would be a bit concerning. Honestly, I don't know what you're doing in that situation. If I was in that situation, it's kind of just like it is what it is. If it happened like 3 or 4 times, I would probably keep track of the number plate on the vehicle. You know, just double check the number plate. Oh yeah, what I would do in this situation is probably just check the number plate. If it's happened like twice or 3 times, remember the number plate, remember the car model, and then whenever you go home, just make sure that that car you spotted isn't around. Yeah? It's a bit suspicious, but I mean, how much different is it to the same customer coming every now and then? It's only the fact that the person leaves without collecting the food, which is a bit sus. Well, it is really sus. But I mean, imagine the scenario where the person picked up the food, then it's kind of, oh, it's that guy. And also, you're in a Burger King, so like, you know, what do you expect? You know, who knows? He might be having some troubles. He might be an addict. And the only way he gets through it is by ordering food but not picking it up because he can't eat it. Maybe the man's on a diet. You never know. Gotta be optimistic here. Gotta be optimistic. You know, he might just be on a diet and he just happens to be you on the drive-thru. It's not like he could. It's not like the man can know if you're the exact same worker. You know, so that's why it's. Yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is.
One night, I was working the speaker at around 2 a.m. when I heard that familiar voice through the speaker. I knew what was about to happen, and I was right. He ordered the same meal, which I knew I'd be eating. But this time, he said something else. Something that made me freeze up. He said, and I'll never forget this, "I hope you've been enjoying those Whoppers, Mr. Hurley." My last name is Hurley.
GG, I
I
knew
don't
something
wear a
was
name
up.
tag with my last name on it. It's not posted anywhere customers can see. There's no reason at all that this guy should know my last name.
GG.
I just stood there for a second, not saying anything. My brain couldn't catch up. Then I started talking into the speaker, asking who this was, what he wanted, and how he knew my name. I must have said "who is this" 4 or 5 times, but he never answered. And this time, he didn't even pull up to pay. I heard his engine rev, and then he was gone. I was rattled for the rest of my shift. There was nothing I could do, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was very, very wrong. Little did I know, things were about to get much worse.
Oh. Now that is, I'm smiling because that's really a scenario where it's like, you know, well, GG, right? That's like mafia type of stuff, man. Like you're on a list. What did I say? I think I've been saying this for many times, but if someone really wanted you, they'll get you. Like regardless of how much security you have, if someone was really gonna get you, they're gonna get you regardless. It just matters on how much they want to get you, but they'll get you. They will. It is what it is. GG. That really is just straight up mafia stuff right there, Mr. Hurley. You been enjoying those meals? He's cooked. What did he do? Must have been doing drugs or something.
When I got home after my shift, I found a note on my doorstep.
Oh, okay, that's
It
great.
was a handwritten note that said, "I know what you did. You have 3 days."
What did you do? What did you do? Oh no, GG. What did you do?
I just stood there staring at it with my hand shaking, and I started feeling really, really sick.
Must be drug
like
related.
someone had punched me in the gut.
Drug?
I have no idea what I supposedly did. I've been racking my brain trying to think of anything that could explain this.
Drugs?
But I've got nothing.
No?
This sounds so stupid, but I don't have enemies or secrets.
You never know.
I'm a 24-year-old guy that works at
24-year-old guy.
Burger King and plays video games on his days off.
Must have talked crap online, GG. You must have talked some dog online. 100%. There's no way about it.
I'm not exactly living the most exciting life. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I just sat on my couch with the lights on, dreading whatever was going to happen next. But nothing happened. I had no choice but to just move on. It turned out I wouldn't have to wait that long, because the next night at work, that guy was back. This time, he didn't even bother playing games. Instead of ordering food, he just asked me to write something down. Then, before I could even respond, he gave me an address. It was some random place on the outskirts of town, in an area I didn't recognize. And then he told me I had 2 days to deliver him $10,000. I damn near laughed at that. I didn't think he was serious, but he clearly wasn't kidding. As soon as he drove off, I immediately went back to being terrified. There was absolutely no way I'd be giving that guy $10,000. I didn't even have $10,000. I still don't. So I decided to ignore it. I figured it had to be some elaborate scam or prank from someone I knew. I should have called the police right then, but I didn't even think of that.
True. Why don't you go? You should have got the police. You've got the man's number plate, right? His car should have a number plate, right? You have security. Talk to your manager about it. Also, install some security. If you found a note on your front door, you would probably want to install some security cameras. You also want to, at Burger King, check the CCTV of the number plate. Because technically, if the guy doesn't have a number plate, you could just call the police and say that this car has got no number plate. Come get him. And like they'll find him. Also, if they send you an address, just send the police to that address. Be like, you know, you can literally just go to the police station and be like, hey, this exact story happened. They want me to come to this location. Bring like some police with me. You know what I mean?
3 nights later, I thought things were over. I hadn't dropped any money off and nothing had happened. But of course, I was wrong. I was sitting there watching TV, winding down from my shift, when out of nowhere, I was jolted up by the sound of shattering glass. I hit the floor on instinct, thinking someone was shooting at me. But when I finally got up and looked around, I realized someone had just thrown a rock through my window. By the time I went to look outside, whoever had been there was long gone. This time, I called the police. I told them everything, including the address I had been given, and they said they'd check it out and told me to stay vigilant. They really didn't do much, they just told me they'd patrol the area a little more closely, and that without any doorstep footage, which I obviously don't have, there was nothing they could do.
It is what it is.
And that was 3 days ago. I've called in sick to work the last 3 nights, but I don't even think that's gonna do anything since the guy clearly knows where I live.
Yeah.
I can't afford to not work, and I can't afford to move, so I'm stuck in this nightmare until the police can track that person down. I think I might try getting them to track the credit card number that the guy used to pay for the Whopper meals. But other than that, I'm not really sure what to do.
Install security cameras?
Why I got targeted, I have no idea. Hopefully things don't escalate from here.
Oh, that's it? The story's ended? Oh, he did. R.I.P. Tom. He did. He's gone. He's gone. It is what it is. Not sure what you're doing in that scenario. Honestly, yeah. Police, security cameras, all that jazz. Right? That's all I can think about. But, like, yeah. It is what it is. I mean, what can you do about that, right? That story there. Only listeners install security cameras, and yeah, that's really about it. Honestly, what else can you do about that scenario? Install security cameras, contact the police, but yeah, at the end of the day, if they want to get you, they'll get you. They'll get you. All right, next story. RJ. What really?
I graduated from college about 8 months ago with a degree in communications.
What?
Which, as I'm sure you can imagine, has been incredibly useful in helping me secure gainful employment. That's sarcasm, by the way. I'm still living with my parents, and I haven't been able to find a real job yet, so I'm off to a great start.
Okay.
In the meantime, I drive for Uber.
Okay.
And Uber Eats.
Okay.
Sometimes both in the same night, depending on what's popping. It's not a career, but it's money, and it lets me feel like I'm doing something productive while I figure my life out. I know that sounds kind of pathetic, but it's what I've got right now. I drive mostly on weekend nights, Friday and Saturday, usually from around 9 p.m. until 2 or
Hold
3.
on a minute. You be saying you're doing Uber. This man really just said he'd been doing Uber and Uber Eats.
That sounds, and it lets me the same night, depending on what's popping. It's not a career, but it's money, and it lets me feel like I'm doing something productive while I figure my life out. I know that sounds kind of pathetic, but it's what I've got right now. I drive mostly on weekend nights.
He drives mostly on weekend nights.
Friday and Saturday.
That's 2 days out of the week. What else he been doing then? He's saying he does Uber and Uber Eats like he does that every day, like a job, because he wants to feel productive. But this man just said he only works on Friday and Saturday. What?
Usually from around 9 p.m. until 2 or 3 in the morning. That's when the surge pricing kicks in and the drunk college kids need rides home from the bars downtown. It's not technically a night shift, but it feels like one. This happened a few weeks ago. It was a Saturday night, maybe around 1:30, and I was about ready to call it. I was about to turn off the app when one more request came through. The pickup was downtown, which was fine, but the drop-off location was really far away, past the suburbs even. I almost declined it for that reason, but the fare was too good. The girl I picked up was completely normal. The drive took about 40 minutes. By the time I dropped her off, it was past 2, and then I was alone, out in the middle of absolutely nowhere with a 40-minute drive back to civilization. I turned the car around and started heading home. Not 10 minutes into the drive, I saw a car stopped in the middle of the road with its hazards on. I approached cautiously, and I realized there were two people standing in front of the car, waving their arms like they were trying to flag me down. My first instinct was actually not to stop, but I'm someone who can't just ignore a person in need. So against my better judgment, I decided to stop. I stopped the car about 20 feet away from them and rolled my window down a few inches. Just enough to hear them, but not enough for someone to reach inside. It was a middle-aged couple, which actually put me at ease a little. That is, until they started talking. The woman did most of the talking. She had this frantic energy about her, but also something that felt slightly rehearsed, like she'd given the speech before. She said they were warning drivers about a collapsed bridge ahead.
Cap.
She went on to say it happened earlier that day,
Cap.
and they'd almost driven right off themselves. She pointed down the road into the darkness, and said if I kept going that way, I'd end up in the river.
Cap.
So naturally, I asked them what I should do instead.
What? But how did you get there in the first place? What? That doesn't make sense. You should have thought about that. Are you even taking the same route to get home? Because you said you're leaving from city to that location. Are you not going to take the same route back? Or are you trying to take a shorter route to your new location? That might be the case, because if you went down the exact same route you came from, then you'll be like, well, I just went past that, so you're capping.
The husband spoke of a turnoff that was about halfway between where we were and the bridge. He said it cut through the woods and that it would add some time to my drive, but it would get me back to the main highway without having to deal with the bridge. I thanked them and started driving. Something felt off. I didn't know what it was, but I knew one thing. I was gonna trust my gut and just drive the way I had been intending to go. About a mile down the road, I saw the turnoff they'd been talking about. It was this narrow dirt path that disappeared into the trees, and it was barely wide enough for one car.
Don't do it.
I decided to keep driving,
Smart.
and a few minutes later, I reached the bridge. I slowed down a little, but it was fine. It wasn't collapsed for sure, and it didn't even look damaged at all. I drove across it without any issues and made it back to the main highway a few minutes later. Even though nothing happened, the experience stuck with me to the point where I didn't sleep well that night. I kept thinking about what would have happened if I'd followed that couple's instructions.
Did.
If I'd turned down that dirt road, alone in the middle of the night. A few days later, the curiosity got the better of me and I did something stupid. I drove back out there. It was the middle of the afternoon this time, broad daylight, which made me feel slightly less insane about the whole thing. I retraced my route from that night. Those people weren't there this time, obviously. When I got to the turnoff, that dirt path into the woods,
It was closed.
I slowed down and pulled over. To my surprise, there was something new. There was a sign nailed to a tree right at the entrance of the path that simply said, "Dead End." That sign hadn't been there before. I would have definitely noticed it that night, even in the dark. Someone had put it up in the last few days. I sat in my car for a minute, staring at the path. In the daylight, it didn't look quite as ominous. It was just a narrow dirt road that disappeared into some dense trees. I wanted to explore it a little, but I was worried about my car getting stuck, so I decided to go it on foot. I'm not sure what I was expecting to find, but being that there was daylight out, I really wasn't scared at all. I turned off my engine. As soon as I stepped out of the car, though, I got a bad feeling. I stood there at the edge of the path, trying to see further down, but there wasn't much to see really. I don't know what it was, but something about standing there and actually being out in the open discouraged me from walking in. Things went from 0 to 100 in about 2 seconds. As I was turning around and walking back to my car, I heard a scream ring out behind me. It was this awful scream, definitely a woman's, and it came from somewhere deep in the woods down the path. I can't tell you how fast I was out of there. Before I could even think, I was already speeding away. I don't think I've ever been so scared before, and that was about 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
I haven't been back to that spot since, but here's the thing. I can't stop thinking about it.
Did you call the police?
Part of me knows I should just leave it alone, but I've been thinking about asking one of my friends to come out there with me.
You heard a scream, and you just drove away and didn't even bother to call the police? I don't know what to. What can you say in a situation? Bro just lit. It's the daylight. You just said you weren't scared in the daylight. What they gonna do? Run to your car? It's the daylight. Call the police. Yo, woman screaming in this location. Did in. Cool. Done. You're welcome. Oh, I heard a woman scream in that path. Yeah. I didn't even bother calling the police. No need. No need. Hey, you want to come down with me though? Next week, 2 weeks? Yeah. You want to go? Let's explore it. Get a drone. Fly in the, you're too broke for a drone. My bad. Yeah, you want to go explore the path?
If I do, I'll record a video and send it, but for now, all I can really do is wonder about that scream and those people.
And not call the police. Good job. Where's the police? Okay, should have just called the police, honestly. Like, what's this man on about? Alright, next story.
This happened a few winters ago when I was working overnight security for a commercial warehouse complex. I was 26 and had been doing the job for 8 months.
Nice.
The shift ran from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m.
That's easy.
And I was always the only employee on the site.
Well, yeah.
There was a supervisor I could call if something went wrong, but for the most part, it was just me and the cameras. The complex was in an industrial area on the edge of a small city that didn't have much nightlife. Most nights followed the same routine. Clock in, do a walkthrough of the exterior, then settle into the security office to monitor the cameras. And every hour, another patrol. The warehouse stored mostly industrial equipment and bulk supplies, nothing particularly valuable. The night everything went sideways started pretty normally. It was cold enough for there to be snow falling.
Would you guys take a security night job like that? That sounds ultimately chill. I'm not gonna lie. AR-15. Walk around the place. All goods. Get back in office. Watch the cameras. Get out again. Walk around with the AR, you know? Obviously you have a gun, right? Because you're security, huh? Right? You wouldn't just have like a little stick, huh? You would have like a strap. Because you're security. Like, you think robbers ain't... Where's your gun at? Straight up hold an AR-15, walk around. That's badass. Ain't even the demons gonna get you either. You're all goods. Brightest headlight ever. You know? AR, walk around. Done. Matter of fact, might as well get a dog as well, right? It really just depends on the thing. But if it's like a warehouse, dog, gun, and whatever happens, it is what it is, right? You'll be good to go. Unless it's like the cartel, right? But you know the deal when you do a security job, you know? You're the company's watchdog. You're the pawn. If anything happens, that you take it is what it is. It's the same as just driving in a it's the same as just driving in public, okay? It's like, well, you know what happens if you drive in public, you know, someone could just crash into you and you die. It is what it is. But you know you took the risk. You got in the car, you drove out, you took the risk. So same goes for security guard, right? You took the risk. Someone could come and, you know, kill the night guard. But it is what it is because that's the game you chose. Same thing as Earth logs that I do. I know the game I play. If someone wants to get me, they'll get me. You could easily get me. You guys can easily find out where I am. Find the car I'm in. Just wait for me when I leave the gym and shoot me. I'm like, if you want to get me, you'll get me. But guess what? I'm not allowed to die. So anyways.
But nothing too heavy. I did my first patrol, everything was secure, and I went back to the office.
Chill.
Around 1:30 a.m., I got a motion alert on one of the loading dock cameras. This wasn't unusual. The system was sensitive, and wind or animals could trigger it. I pulled out the feed and watched for a minute, but everything looked normal. Just the empty dock and snow drifting past the floodlights. But the alerts kept coming. Every 10 or 15 minutes, the same camera would trigger. Each time I'd check the feed, and each time I'd see nothing. What started to bother me was that the movement always seemed to happen just at the edge of the frame, like something was there but not quite in view. By 2:30, I had maybe 6 or 7 alerts from the same camera. No other cameras were triggering, just that one. At 3 a.m., I went outside to check it myself. The snow had mostly stopped, and the complex was dead silent. I walked the full perimeter of the dock area with my flashlight. I didn't see anything unusual. All the bay doors were closed and locked.
I mean, bro, this guy sounds pretty brave. Well, that's his job, duh.
And there were no footprints in the snow except for mine. I went back inside. About 20 minutes later, I heard a loud, metallic scraping sound, like something heavy being dragged across concrete. It came from inside the warehouse, somewhere deep in the building.
Get him.
I checked the interior cameras, but all 6 feeds showed empty aisles.
Get him.
I was starting to freak out a little bit because I started feeling like I was being toyed with or watched somehow. But still, I explained the noise away by chalking it up to the wind or something. An hour later, though, I heard it again. It was louder this time. The dragging sound, followed by a sharp bang, like something had struck one of the interior doors. I cycled through the cameras again. Nothing on 1 through 5. When I got to camera 6, though, the feed was black. Maybe 3 seconds of static, and then it came back. But something was different. The angle had shifted, just a few degrees to the left, like someone had bumped the camera or adjusted its position. At that point, I had no choice.
Get him.
I grabbed my flashlight and radio and headed into the warehouse.
Nice.
The interior was massive, probably 80,000 square feet of industrial shelving arranged.
Not gonna lie though, if you're the security guard, you're kind of more of the not villain, but like when it comes to the robber's perspective, you're actually the scary one. Like, let's be honest here, right? You guys have played video games. The night security guy's a scary guy. He's like the, if you're the POV of the robber, the security and the night guards are like literally the horror movies because you don't even know when they come. You're more of the scary guy than they are. So, because if they get caught, they're gone. But yeah, I mean, see what happens.
On aisles. During the day, it was bright and full of forklifts. At night, the overhead lights were dimmed to save power, casting everything in this yellowish half light. I was maybe halfway down the main aisle when I heard footsteps coming from somewhere to my left. It definitely sounded like someone, a person walking maybe 2 or 3 aisles over.
Hey, stop!
As soon as I stopped, the footsteps stopped too. I stood there trying to control my breathing. I remember how tense it was, standing there in complete silence, waiting for a sound that I wasn't even sure would come. After what felt like forever, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to break the silence. In a firm voice, I announced my presence as security and insisted that whoever was there make things easy and reveal themselves. But of course, there was no response. The rest of that patrol was utterly terrifying. I was bracing myself for a fight or some kind of confrontation, and the longer I surveyed without finding anyone, the worse that feeling got.
I mean, from the other guy's perspective, he's probably shitting his pants. Not gonna lie, he's like, crap, the security guy's here. Oh my god, what do I do? I gotta hide.
But I ultimately finished my patrol without seeing another person, which was arguably worse, because I knew with 100% certainty that there was someone in there. I didn't see or hear anything for the rest of my shift, but that didn't make me feel any better.
Someone's hiding.
I actually felt somewhat guilty. My job was laughably simple, and I was messing it up in real time. But by the time 7 rolled around, I wanted nothing more than to just get out of there.
You tell him, right?
I reported everything to my supervisor when he showed up on site. Maintenance did a full inspection, but didn't find anything either. Even after everything was double and triple checked, no one was able to identify the method of entry, and I could tell people didn't believe my story. Still though, that night remains one of the freakiest things that has ever happened to me.
He got away. Must have got away. Story 4. The last one.
This memory still terrifies me. And outside of police and some close family, this is my first time fully revisiting it. A few years ago, I had gotten my first job at a 24-hour gym.
Oh, something close to our theme. Alright, 24-hour gym, let's go. Oh, I can't wait. I actually can't wait. Might be actually some insightful. Let's go.
I was in a gap year between high school and college, so I worked a lot of night shifts. The gym was open 24/7 and accessed by key card only, meaning often there were only 1 or 2 employees.
Okay, employees working, that's not bad, I guess. Diamond hour, golden hour.
Working. People could just check in, use the equipment, and leave. The whole facility pretty much managed itself. All entries, exits, and usage of equipment was processed digitally, so all I had to really do was sit in the office and keep an eye on the cameras. I would occasionally get up and walk around, do some light cleaning, and even talk to some of the guests.
Man, why are you talking to us? Ain't nobody going to the gym that early to talk. Aw, he's annoying. Imagine that. Imagine a guest coming. Imagine a worker at 24-hour gym just walking around talking to... Bruh. We're here early in the morning for a reason. Fuck off.
This was in a pretty bad part of town, but for the most part, everyone was nice and friendly, and it was one of those gyms where everyone kind of knows each other, considering how few people really come in.
I hate that.
This one night in particular, I was working from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m., which is generally a very long, boring shift, but everything that happened that night keeps me up at night to this day. It was around 2 a.m. when I had already done multiple rounds around the building and finished all routine paperwork. I was exhausted, so I just figured I'd sit down for a bit and monitor the cameras. Everything was normal at first. Not many
Hey,
people
didn't I
come
say
into
that
work-
in the Earth logs, right? The cameras in the gym are always watching no matter what. I bet every time we go to the gym, some persons are watching us anyway. So that's why I've got the camera. So who cares?
work out in the middle of the night, but there were a couple regulars who came and went. I had worked here for a few months now, so almost everyone I recognized, except one man.
Me.
I first noticed him when I saw him using a treadmill in the far corner. Normally this wouldn't catch my attention, as we have new guests from time to time. However, what really caught me off guard was how fast this man was running. I pulled up his treadmill number in the system, where I'm able to live monitor all equipment.
Okay, now that's a bit. That's kind of that's interesting. What, you can monitor the treadmill digitally? That's kind of creepy. But hey, that's kind of cool as well, right?
Activity.
Oh, that's interesting. Whoa, that gym sounds kind of. That gym sounds a lot more high tech. What? The people in the office can monitor the speed of the treadmill while he's on it. That is. What kind of treadmill are they on? What? That's kind of it. That's kind of weird. Oh, I mean, that's interesting, but like, damn.
He was running 9 miles per hour, which was impressive already. But what really shocked me was the fact that he never stopped. 10
Okay.
minutes went by, then 15. He never slowed or stopped.
We literally have done that though. We literally done that.
I looked closer at the camera, and although I can't quite describe it in detail, this man was nothing short of unsettling. He was wearing ragged clothes, he had long messy hair, and his face never moved once. He was just staring straight forward. Then I noticed his feet. He was barefoot.
Oh.
He had been running 9 miles per hour for 15 minutes barefoot, just staring into the distance.
Okay.
At this point in time, I was very weirded out, especially since he was now the only person in the building besides myself. I pulled myself together and realized that we do have a policy requiring shoes, so I decided I would use that as an excuse to go talk to him.
I don't know, man. He seems like he's locked in, you know? Man seems pretty locked in. Bare feet running, fast. You know? He's just chilling. Honestly, the stuff man, why are you gonna talk to him? Like, what's the point? Leave the man alone, no? Why is there staff in 24-hour gym anyways? Just for that reason, huh? Hey, you better put some shoes on.
Although his appearance really freaked me out, I got up the courage to leave the office and head out to talk to him. The machine he was on was located almost directly outside the employee hallway, and as soon as I turned that corner, my heart stopped. The treadmill was covered in blood. His feet were tearing apart as he ran.
Now would be a good time to just, like, you know, head back to the office. You know what I mean? At that point, how'd you not see the blood through the cameras?
My heart dropped. Blood not only dripping, but splattering from his feet and ankles for every step he took.
He's drugs.
His face was still stone cold, staring straight ahead.
Bro's on drugs then.
His mouth was wide open as he ran.
Bro's on drugs.
He looked like he was on every drug on the planet.
Yep.
At this point, I was terrified. He looked crazy enough to the point that my gut was telling me he was dangerous. However, I still mustered up the...
What? But yo, hello? Bare feet? Bleeding? Crazy? You still gonna approach him? Why? What's wrong with you? You clearly see he's on drugs, so just call the police.
courage to yell at him to stop.
You could have yelled at
I
him?
can't even remember exactly what I said, but I did have to raise my voice a bit so he would hear me over the thudding of his feet as he sprinted. He didn't say a word, or even turn his head for that matter. He just continued to sprint and stare forward with his mouth open.
Hey, he gave you a chance. Just stop it. Just Go back in the office, lock the door, call the police or something. It's not worth it. Bro, you're just an employee at the gym. Don't be here in this situation. It ain't gonna work. There's too many red flags. Too many red flags. Bro's on drugs. He's running with his feet bleeding. If he stops, what are you gonna do? Like what? What are you gonna do? Hey, so you can't do that. You gotta leave. But you're gonna have to pay. Yeah, so you must have just called a police at this point.
I yelled again, something along the lines of, "Hello, what are you doing?" He then muttered the words, "Are you there?" in the coldest, raspiest voice I've ever heard.
Don't do it. Bro, he just gave you a second chance. Just leave. He just gave you a second chance saying, "Are you there?" You just got a chance. Yo. GG, this guy's about to.
He wasn't out of breath or even panting as he spoke. I told him to stop a few more times, and he repeatedly just said, "Are you there?"
Giving you multiple chances to leave him alone.
The pool of blood at the end of the conveyor was growing, and at this point, I just figured I'd call the cops. I went back to the office, picked up my phone, but before I called, I glanced at the monitors again.
He's coming for you.
He was staring directly at the camera, sprinting, bleeding, mouth open, staring at the camera.
GG, you should have just left him alone.
I turned away and then heard him screaming from outside the door. He wasn't even screaming words, just screaming at the top of his lungs as he stared at me through the camera.
Oh.
Suddenly, he hopped off the treadmill. He didn't even...
He gave you... You shouldn't have said anything. You shouldn't have said anything. Once you saw it, you should have just left. You should just be like, oh, alright, and... Bro gave you, like, so many chances. Honestly, at this point, the employee deserves it, right? Like, at this point, I don't even feel sorry for the employee. It's like, man gave you a lot of chances. He's clearly crazy. Now you continue yelling. You continue to yell at him and piss him off. And now he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you now. GG. You better have a door on that. He better have a lock on that door. If there's no lock on that door, you're cooked.
turn it off, and he sprinted out of view of the camera. I immediately started clicking through the feed searching for him, but he was out of view of every camera we had in the building. I had checked every camera except one, the employee hallway.
GG, he's right there.
Sure enough, there he was, about 6 feet from the office door, just standing there. I don't even know how he had gotten into this hallway without a keycard, but I didn't hesitate to quickly lock the door. Almost 5 seconds after I locked
banged on it.
the doorknob rattled.
Oh.
Now I was calling the cops. He started screaming again and shaking the door as I explained to dispatch what was happening. They told me police were 5 minutes out.
Oh, you're
I
cooked.
just waited in the corner of the office while this man was trying to get inside.
You're cooked.
His scream was terrifying. It was so deep it barely sounded human.
Bro should've just
and he
left him
kept it up
alone.
for an unbelievably long time. This went on for about 3 minutes. I thought if he got in here, I was gonna die.
Yeah, probably.
And I felt absolutely helpless. Suddenly, though, the screaming stopped
Probably ran
and
away.
the door didn't move. I checked the cameras again, and he was gone. I couldn't see him anywhere. Eventually, the police arrived, and I made them search the entire place before I would even leave the office. They told me he was nowhere to be found. I answered their questions and drove home. I quit the next day, and have not entered that gym since.
Why'd you quit? Why'd you quit? You were clearly about to give your life for the building, so why would you quit the next day? Hey, you know what though? The employee really should... He gave you a chance. You shouldn't have provoked the man. Like, you clearly provoked the man by saying stop, right? Like... It is what it is. It is what it is. Last guy was pretty stupid though, not gonna lie. Last guy was like dumbass. So many red flags. Leave or like ignore it. Like... Alright, let's check the comments, shall we? Who the hell tries to blackmail a Burger King worker for 10k? That's like half their yearly salary. Is it? Story 2. I'm someone who can't ignore someone in need. Proceeds to not report the screaming chick in the woods. True. True. Last story is terrifying. Story 1, make sure to update us. If you don't, I'm assuming the Whopper Man got you. Probably. The second guy not calling the cops after he avoided a trap, then not calling again after the scream, then wanting to go back. Yeah, that's retarded. Last one would make a killer short film. Maybe. More of the story. Free ain't free. What? Right time for my night shift. Hey. The last story of the guy running 9 miles barefoot is nothing more than unsettling. The last story, I would have immediately locked myself in. Yeah. Yeah. Like, why would you speak to the man? First story, Burger King should have footage and yeah, I said that already too. The last story is the first that actually freaked me out in a while. Nah, last guy on the floor was just locked. Yeah, he's just locked in. That's why I said that too. Hey, it's pretty funny. In the alternate universe where you drove down the path and saw someone, you heard yeah. Not calling the cops after hearing the scream is crazy. Yeah, I said that too. Me listening to this on my way to mental hospital night shift. I should do that too. That sounds fun. Sorry, is that cruel? I don't know. Last story is literally so terrifying. Hey, if anything bad happens to me in the gym, I'll be fine because we got Deep Blue. Got Deep Blue, man. Cameraman can't die, you know, Joe. The guy in the 2-story. Oh yeah, the murder scene. Yeah, that is a thing. I've seen like a story one. Not a story. I think it's like a video game based on a real story where it's like these crazy couples or people will like literally go on a mass murder spree and just kill people in the woods and stuff until they get caught. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry that this morning was a bit scuffed. Yeah, the food was a bit scuffed. Also, we are changing the calorie to like 2,000 plus again. I did some research. We're going to go back to 2,000 plus. Because after 2 weeks of consistently under 2K, we literally have not done anything. So we might as well just start changing up again, alright? Alright, everybody. Appreciate it for watching today's episode. What an interesting story. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so first story. Wait, let's quick. Oh, sorry. Why am I ending the video? First story was Burger King, man. It is what it is. You know, if they're gonna get you, they're gonna get you. Second story. The driving incident. Should have called the police, right? Should have called the police. Yeah, that's really about it. Should have called the police. And also, if you are doing Uber or driving the route, yeah. Third story, security camera. Another it is what it is moment. But props to the third guy in the story. He was pretty brave. So, yep. Fourth story, dumbass. Should have just read the room, read the psychopath, being like, oh, yeah, nah, and then just call the police. Yeah, so, like, it is what it is. Right. See you guys next time, alright? Bye-bye.